Hey, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're gonna go over how to lose your gut quickly. So in this video, we're gonna go over my favorite techniques that include exercise, nutrition, posture, breathing, and other factors to help optimize your body shape. Let's get into it. The first thing we need to talk about is posture. For a lot of you looking in the mirror, your posture is so poor that when you look in there, you actually see a legitimate gut. And let me describe to you what you're probably seeing, especially if your BMI happens to be less than 25. All right, so I'm standing with my normal posture now, and as you can see, I don't have a gut, right? However, if I had very poor posture, I'm gonna look like this. And guess what happens when I look in the mirror? I definitely can see a gut. But there's one thing I wanna put your attention to, and that's your anti-gut in the back. This is definitely the reverse of a gut, and that's why we have to reverse this posture. We have to get tall, and if you happen to be in a sway back posture, which means that your hips are forward, you have to make sure that they're vertical. The only way that you can actually check for this is looking in the mirror to see if from the knee to the hip to the shoulders, it forms pretty much a vertical line. And if it doesn't, you have to get them in a vertical line. So we're getting tall, everything is stacked vertically, and then the one thing you have to do in this position is to breathe. Everywhere is expanding, the whole back is expanding, the sides are expanding, up. These ribs are going up a little bit, they're going forward, and even down below is expanding, right? So I'm taking some deep breaths. And at first, this is going to be very uncomfortable for a lot of you, because for those of you who are like this, you're used to breathing only through here, which even accentuates and increases your gut more. So to do the opposite, we're here, we're nice and vertical. As you can see, I just had a gut. I helped eliminate it just simply through my posture. And if you have a BMI that's 25 or less, and even for some of you that carry more muscle and your BMI is approaching 26, 27, maybe even 28, chances are your posture is just so poor that when you look in the mirror, you're observing just poor posture, and it looks like you have a big gut, but you really don't, all right? So again, we're nice and tall, we're getting good inhalation, and then these ribs down, exhalation here. And at first it might seem a lot of you are doing this, your hips are back, right? And this actually makes you appear like this. But the reason why it's so hard to get into a very tall position is because you never do it, and it's not because the muscles are weak, it's because you don't breathe properly. You're not used to breathing in this position, and this is how I want you to exercise and do cardio and even sit in this position. So what about those of you who actually do need to lose weight? So if you need to lose weight, we gotta be using some cardiovascular exercise with strength training. Cardiovascular exercise is going to help you burn the most calories, okay? Now, that also brings us into the nutrition aspect, in which you have to be having less calories than you would normally consume in order to drop weight. So if you only have a week, yes, you can make a noticeable dent in your gut and help to reduce it. If you have longer, even better. But again, the basics of weight loss are still the same. You have to have a hypocaloric diet, which means that you have to have less calories than your body needs. It doesn't have to be a lot less, but it does need to be at least significant enough where you're losing weight at least every 2 to 3 weeks. All right, so let's get back into the exercise. So what kind of exercises can help optimize your body shape so that you can really eliminate your gut? Well, if you happen to be working chest, deltoids, upper back, including your lats, you're gonna get wider up top and you're gonna become narrower down below. So doing exercises which emphasize that, which include strength training, overhead presses, push-ups, bench presses, rows, chin-ups, even some deltoid work, can go a long way in creating a bigger frame up top. But as well, I would recommend breathing exercises too. One of the guys I was talking to a professional opera singer the other day, and his thorax is huge. Even without him doing training, he's so massive and so wide up top, it looks like he's very narrow. It looks like he's very narrow down below, and that's because he breathes so well and he has to take in a lot of air. So being able to get a bigger frame being able to fill that frame. A lot of you who have sunken in chests, they're too depressed, they're too low, and we gotta fix that. All right, so let's go back to nutrition. So one thing that I need you to be doing is cutting out alcohol in the short term. We know that the higher intakes of alcohol, the more fat it will put on the abdomen. And that brings us into why. And one of the proposed reasons is cortisol levels are higher. So also, if you have very high stress levels, chances are you may be putting more weight around the abdomen than other places. And genetically, if you are one of those unlucky few who predominantly put on weight around the abdomen, there's really not much you can do about that except losing weight and getting that BMI essentially closer around 25 or less. If you happen to carry a lot of muscle, you can get away with having a little bit higher BMI. But I want you to think about optimizing your weight. I want you to think about optimizing your weight to create that narrow waist and upper body expansion. Okay, so now let's get into clothing. Darker clothing typically is going to be best. You obviously don't want to be using like anything like a horizontal stripe. That visual appearance does show and reveal kind of the curves around your body more. So if you're having stripes, let's go vertical. Probably I'd encourage you to use like more monochrome colors. Again, the posture is really going to be the key. Whereas you can see that if I'm tall through here, it tends to just go over this area nice and smoothly without protruding out like that. And the other thing too is that if you are having a nice tall posture, when you go into certain social situations, you're going to want to depressed because that's probably already likely unconscious for you. So I want you to stay tall and focus on breathing. Nice, slow, deeper breaths. Not necessarily saying a big, deep breath, but deeper breaths can help you sustain that posture even better while being mindful. So the bottom line is if you have a BMI which is higher, you're gonna have to drop some weight. You can still optimize your posture, but for those of you who have BMIs that tend to be lower, probably between about 25 to 27 or lower, you can really probably eliminate your gut by optimizing your posture. So if you got something out of this video, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, ask me any questions. I'm an open book and happy to answer them. Thanks for watching.